Hello, everyone. My name is Krasimira Stekova, and this is my research to practice project for Education 590. I chose the topic of social emotional learning, and my literature review is based on exploring the problem of the lack of integrated social emotional learning in schools and the positive influence of having social emotional learning and education as part of the regular curriculum. Research shows that, especially after the pandemic and entering into full-time in-person school year back in August, students struggled with social emotional relationships, with having a healthy self-image with self-awareness and social awareness. This is something that is really important, especially now when we have returned in full-time in-person instruction. And it's something that I would like to address. I have explored in my literature review and different resources. And I also would like to present in my step-by-step, multi-step plan to address the specific problem of lack of integrated social emotional learning in schools. So how can we use social emotional learning as a driving force for creating relationships, academic success, and overall well-being based on the lack of it thus far? My plan to implement social emotional learning consists of 4 steps. The first one, and this is actually one of my topics in the literature review, is the social emotional learning as a classroom strategy. Relationship building also as a classroom strategy. A successful classroom management is a recipe for successful learning experience for students. Starting with the morning routines and morning student work, student checking, different games, different bonding activities, questions and discussions, developing the ability to work together and think together, showing empathy and compassion and relating to students, help students participate in the learning process, stay engaged, and being able to create positive relationships in the classroom. It starts from the very beginning of the day. Also, extending social emotional programs into the home and establishing partnership with parents is very important for successful implementation of social emotional learning. Bridging over to families and communities was also one of my recommendations in my SWOT analysis for Hawthorne Elementary School in Ontario. I strongly believe that it takes a village, so if teachers, students, communities, families work together, then we could have a successful academic process and emotional well-being of the students. Another step is teacher training on social emotional learning and having ongoing professional development. Unfortunately, there isn't much of professional development on social emotional learning or culturally responsive care for students, and especially novice teachers are not familiar with the strategies of implementing social emotional learning into the classroom. This is a much needed training for teachers and also strategy to be implemented, especially after students came back full-time in the classroom. We saw how many relationships have to be rebuilt, how many routines had to be retaught, and it's very important to have the proper training so we can assist students and provide support and help when needed. Another step would be maximizing social emotional benefits through music and all other extracurricular activities. One of my research one of the articles that I used, researches that I used for my literature review was on relationships actually between social emotional learning and music music course taken in the schools. And I showed that usually music, when students are involved in a 3 to 4 year program of music, their relationships and social awareness improves, their overall self-efficiency and growth mindset improves. Setting personal growth, personal and collective goals improves as well. So extra curriculum is vital for the implementation of social emotional learning altogether. What is a curriculum without social emotional learning and therefore the lack of it in schools? A major impact is that students are facing challenges in their interactions with others and expressing their needs and their feelings. Students have forgotten how to relate to one another, how to create a self image, how to abide to social norms and behavior in different settings. And this impact of a lack of social emotional learning integrated into the curriculum is one of the major impacts. Another impact is low attendance and low academic success. Disinterest in learning altogether, not completing or turning in assignments. When students' social emotional needs are not met, they're not motivated. They're not motivated to learn. They're just disinterested in learning altogether. So we really need to address that. Another impact of the lack of social emotional support is there's no higher order thinking. There is very little or no reflection and evaluation of growth and self-growth and own progress. And students may not be participating in responsible decision making. This is where bullying comes, where following different TikTok challenges comes. This is where boundaries, healthy boundaries are not set, and really the lack of that social emotional learning is affecting students' overall well-being. Criteria for success would be improving communication altogether, improving communication skills and participation. Students are not sent to the principal's office that often. They don't have to go for therapy that often. We see improvement altogether because of the dual benefits of social emotional learning, not only academic, but personal also. Interpersonal benefits of social emotional learning. Another indicator of success of the implementation of the plan would be test scores improve and academic success. I do believe that when students' needs are met and when appropriate support and help is provided when needed, students are motivated. They have positive attitude towards learning, and their collaboration in the classroom and relationships improve. Therefore, their academic success improves as well. Another indicator for success of the plan would be students feel valued and appreciated. They develop a healthy self-image. They do not look for reevaluation somewhere else, let it be social media or somewhere else out of school. Students demonstrate positive attitude and growth mindset because they feel valued and appreciated at school and at home, because they craved healthy self-image, and they also learn how to take others' perspective. They're embracing diversity, and they value other people's opinions and are willing and open to learn. Why making social emotional learning a priority? Well, given the impact of the positive influence and helping students to develop the five driving forces of social emotional learning. This is self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, self-efficiency, relationship skills, and reasonable decision making, especially when resolving conflicts constructively. This is right there a very important strategy to make social emotional learning a priority. Also, curriculum alone does not foster development of self-worth. CEL, however, helps students develop healthy identities and make responsible and caring decisions. It is foundational to the success of young people, therefore the success of our society. If we're able to raise social and self-awareness in our students and healthy image, if we're able to raise students that are setting personal and collective goals and they're making responsible decisions, therefore this is a recipe for the success of our entire society. Setting boundaries and personal goals, developing resilience and building resilience and ultimately life satisfaction is another learning priority for social emotional components, and I do believe very important for the self-image of students. And last but not least, social emotional learning promotes growth mindset, and when we change the way we think, we change the way we learn. Then students are able to establish healthy self-image, improve their academic scores, and are able to contribute to the well-being of community as well.